Right, so this is a bit of a long overdue video from the series that I was supposed to be doing, tracking the growth through the garden. There's been another bit of a gap between this one and my last one, but I suddenly realised, with conditions as they are, it's quite interesting in a way what's happening in the garden. I've had a very mild winter so far. Quite unprecedented, I think, really, even in comparison to other mild winters. We've had a lot of wind here, although it's a strange sort of a wind, I think. Not massively strong, but not powerful. That's the only way I could think to describe it. Anyway, have a little look round. So that's the lemon, which is looking a bit sad. That was the one that was in the polytunnel this year. So not a great idea for establishing a lemon, cheapish polytunnel. So there you go. Thyme that needs potting on. I just wanted to keep that in here. I want to get that out in a pot next year and have a nice supply of that. That's a little geranium which needs a bit more TLC. Just a little cutting off a plant that was outside. Cuttings of the rosemary, obviously that one's taken. There's a little bit leggy, but again I need to pop those on. These have come up, look, what I've just noticed. See those two little seedlings? See those in there? I think it must have come off them, which is maybe off this seed head which I saved, which is Joe Pye weed. I've got the root out there, which hopefully should take as well. I've managed to get a couple of other seeds in the last few days. That's the ornamental allium, Christophe, and then I've got some, although don't know with all this rain whether they'll be any there, the hollyhock seeds. Yeah. So, got the geraniums, scented leaf geraniums, they're doing nicely in here. And the lemon that was actually kept in here, much better. Yeah, that's done really well. It does still need pruning, but I don't want to mess about with it too much. But look, that's nice, that's lovely there. So, I'll get some of this off heading into next year, and probably keep it in here again. I think for the time being is going to be preferable. I haven't got much else in here, just all my aloe veras that I still haven't potted on, and the cardamom, which is doing really well. You see that nice growth, new growth there. This is the fig. I was having a nightmare with it. Oh, hello, hello, he's getting in on it. Hello. Yeah, I'm going out in a minute. Where was I? Fig, yeah. So, now this is a new shoot, which is a bit weird because it shouldn't be new shooting now, should it? And I've also had a problem with scarred fly in there. Right. And in this one, which is the custard fruit. Whoa, alright, I'm coming. But I repotted those the other day, so hopefully I've got rid of all the... Get off! God! Worse than the kids you are. Alright. Unbelievable. Yeah, so that's those. This is looking a bit sad, isn't it? This is another scented geranium. It's not happy in there. I'm not sure why that is. Could be... Ooh. Ooh, some worms in there, look. Yeah, I'll have to have a little think on that one, maybe give it a feed. Yeah, that's the lemongrass, which just died back instead of me storing it. Although, I don't know, I still might get a base plate off there. I'll have to dig it up and have a look. And yeah, everything over here is doing really well, particularly the jade plant and the African bluebells. Those were both potted on. this year, and they're just looking amazing. I'm hoping this will flower really beautifully this year. So, okay. Right then, yeah. So, obviously we've had a lot of rain here. Fortunate in the fact that in Birmingham we're on high ground. Well, I'm in Albury, we're in a slight dip, but in terms of water drainage, you know, we're pretty safe here. We've also got, bizarrely, for a urban polluted area, a natural water course. It comes up in certain places, Thimble Mill Brook, which I should do some filming at, actually. Go up there, it's beautiful, and that runs through just up the road through the houses, but it goes underground at points. But in the local park, Worley Woods, there is actually a channel. It's dry most of the time, but what it does mean is that this immediate area is suited to ridding itself of excess water. But yeah, there you go. So, right, what we got? Well, I've cut. See, what happened was everything's growing, and that's worrying if we get a frost. But I'm thinking we might not even get a frost this year, which will knock spring off totally. It's changing into something else completely. Yeah, look, he's all excited with the wind. It's making him mad. So yes, anyway, everything was really starting to grow, so I thought, no, I've got to cut it down, like particularly these raspberries. You can see the buds on them. They're just all cut off now, so I've got them in water. I'm hoping they will root and I'll be able to pass them on to people. What's going on in here? See, that's grown. That's not meant to be grown now. Wood betony, betony. They look like poppies coming up in there. That's not what's supposed to be in there though. That's Solomon's seal. But you know, theoretically all these should be good, because that's the jojoba weed. That's the actual root. Alecampane root in that one. Right, so yeah, I mean, strawberries always hardy, but wild strawberries. But yeah, look, certainly wouldn't have them in fruit like this. Got that marjoram plant there, which hasn't died back or gone scabby particularly, and the geranium at the back. The lemon balm always is early to start coming, but not quite this early usually. I mean, what, towards the end of Jan I would expect it to be. Okay. So we've got this is quite typical of what would be happening this time of year. The marjoram there, perhaps it wouldn't be sprouting quite so much. Got loads of lovely fresh dandelion, and oh, I can't remember what that's called. It's that small perennial onion. The name of it's gone out of my head. And yeah, look at that, lavender is looking really well. And look, see, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that in focus. The ladybird there. What's she doing? Should be asleep. So yeah, that was another reason. Normally I would just leave the garden covered with whatever was on it this time of year, just to habitat for the insects and keep the ground warm and whatnot. But certain invasive things are creeping in that wouldn't be at this time of year. So I did have to have a little bit of a clear out. Oh look, I've got nettle coming up there. Yes, see, that shows me this bit of soil here is coming on really well. Anyway, yeah, Herb Robert, which I love, and it's beautiful, and it can be somewhat evasive, but that's really taking advantage of this weather, and it will start taking over if things stay as they are. So I did come out and start stripping it out. So there's a little bit of calendula. and often they can be in flower this time of year. I had that last year, but they died off in that frost we had in January. So, fruit bushes, I mean, they're very juicy looking buds for this time of year, don't you think? So, yeah, the other evasive thing that I had to come out and deal with, but I'm not going to eradicate completely, is the campanula. And that's not campanula, is it? Oh my god. Hello! You alright? The name of that's just gone out my brain as well. Anyway, it's quite evasive. I usually leave it to cover the ground, but I've had to rein it in because it was just going wild. We've got the sorrel there coming up, which is being eaten by something, and the woodruff, which looks like that's established here, so I'm pleased about that. What else are these? I think that's the gooseberries looking fairly typical for the time of year, and this is another red currant, but that's not looking quite as fully formed as the roots over there, or the buds over there. It's another calendula. That's a strawberry cultivar, that's established pretty strong there, and the fennel is shooting. Can't see any signs of the rhubarb though. I hope that wasn't rotted off. And again, see, I don't really want to, I'm going to just leave that, see how it grows, because it will grow from the base as well. That's a hollyhock, putting out new growth. You can see it's been colonised in there, in the bottom of the pot, but I figure that'll just help with a bit of protection. Oh, and this is the other one, Woodhavens. Yep, that's got it. Well, I've reined it in a bit, I'm not going to go crazy, but nettles, you can see, quite early growth, not loads though. Look, it's biding its time, the nettle, it's not going too crazy. I think it's waiting to see what happens. Beautiful sun. In fact, it does feel a little bit more like a winter's day today. There's a little nip in the air, and that sunshine's beautiful. So, go and have a look round here. Let's see. This is shooting as well. That's the knapweed. I mean, we've got growth on the roses as well. I think I chopped it off yesterday. There were actually some fruit forming on some of the blackberries. I cut all this down. It's weird as well because the geraniums are still going. They were last year. I was getting flowers off them last year at this time. No flowers off them this year. That's a little harebell, that's all coming through. And feverview, you can see that's having flowers. Okay, so look, blackcurrant sage still. I probably should trim that back a little, but I don't want to too much because it's looking so healthy. There's more feverview, the little dog violet. Lemon verbena isn't looking as well, but I'm hoping I can get that to come on a bit this year. And you see how this wormwood's still alive. The one over there in the other bed has gone completely. This one's still doing okay. So this is like sort of southwest facing. Oh yeah, the nasturtium's going for it here. That's a rudbeckia, which has pretty much gone. Still holding on a little bit. I see this now. So these are the cowslips. They're coming into flower. What else have we got down here? Yeah, and the ice plants are some. I mean, they do form rosettes quite early on usually, but they're kind of going for it there. And I've got some liverwort, which would normally be coming up now. Some buds in the middle of there. Got the bay. See the salad bonnet as well. That's coming into flower. Yeah, no, these are sort of all more typical about what I'd expect to see. Buds on these. Tansies shot up quite a bit though. And then it's just the brassica. In these beds, I had to take the cover off this because the wind ravaged it and I didn't want it to get completely wrecked. So I'm going to be redoing this, I think, as I've said in previous videos this year. Might even move it up to the back, which would be a better position, catch more sun, because I've had it confirmed the tree surgeon's been round, that's coming down, and he's even going to do it without damaging all my other babies, so I'm well chuffed. Yeah, I think the last thing in here which is shooting really is the goji berry, which again I wouldn't really expect to be doing that now. So, oh, and I've got the garlic coming up actually, which is quite typical. They need to be separated, though probably a bit more growth on them this time of year. It's starting to look a bit yellow. Oh, I need to come and look after them. And a couple of other things that I've popped in that appear to have taken. Some rosemary. So yeah, a lot going on really.